Hello children, happy to see you again. I am your teacher Dakshayani, handling biology from Bharadasanath Metric Higher Secondary School, Arakonam. Children, today we are going to see 9th standard biology chapter 6. The chapter name is seed, right? And in this chapter we are going to study about the structure of the seed and next the types of seeds, monocot seed and the dicot seed, and about the germination. There are two types of germination, apigeal and hypogeal. These are all the things we are going to discuss in this lesson. Let us go into the session. So, just look at this picture children. What is a seed? Right? Yes, seed is a fertilized ovule. After fertilization, ovule becomes a seed and ovary becomes a fruit, right? Just imagine what happens if we sow the seeds on a land, on a fertile land. What will happen? Immediately it will start to grow? No, right? It remains dormant for some times. Dormant in the sense inactive, right? The seed develops itself inside the soil and later on it starts to germinate and continue to grow into a new plant. So, in this chapter we are going to see about the structure of a seed. So, seed is a ripened ovule. They may ask in 2 more questions children. What is a seed? Seed is a ripened ovule. Ripened ovule. And seed consists of 2 main parts. One is a seed coat. Seed coat in the sense outermost part of the seed, right? And another one, inside it possesses a embryo. So, what are the 2 main parts of the seed? Outermost seed coat. Yes, see this brownish layer children, this brownish double layer, it is a seed coat, and seed coat is of 2 layers that we shall discuss later, and inside the embryo, right? And from the embryo only what starts to the plant, the seed starts to germinate, it starts to produce the shoot as well as a root from the embryo only. So, what are the 2 main parts of the seed? Seed coat and the embryo. Now, let us see about the 2 types of seed coat. So, seed coat, there are 2 types of seed coat children, and how the seed coat is formed. In the fertilization we have studied, ovary becomes a fruit, ovule becomes the seed, and what becomes a seed coat? Yes, integuments. Yes, while you are studying about the structure of the ovule, you have studied about this outermost covering, right? Integuments. These integuments develops into the seed coat. Develops into the seed coat, and seed coat is of 2 types. The outermost layer is a testa and the innermost covering is a tegment. So, what is the outermost layer children? Testa. The outermost covering we call it as testa and the innermost covering we say it as tegment. The outer integument becomes a testa and the inner one becomes a tegment, and in some seeds both are fused. We cannot separate the tegment and the testa. So, this is about the seed coat. What is the use of the seed coat children? The main function of the seed coat is to protect, is to give protection to the seed, right? And while studying about the structure of a seed, we should see one important thing, that up here there is one depression, right? And this depression we call it as a hilum. What we say? Hilum, right? And below the hilum is a micropyle, a small opening called as a micropyle. For example, if you take a chana dal, right? If you take a chana dal, you can see the small pores here, right? That is a micropyle, through which the water enters into the seed and helps in germination. So, seed coat, what are the 2 layers? Outer testa and inner tegment. And now let us study about the embryo. Embryo. What is the embryo children? This is the embryo. If you take a seed, the innermost fleshy part, we say it, this is a cotyledon, right? And this we say it as an embryo. The embryo is nothing, it is a miniature of the plant. It's the 2 more question, children. What is embryo? Embryo is a miniature of plant. Miniature of plant. And embryo consists of 5 parts, right? First part is a endosperm. The first part is a, for example, just imagine this is the endosperm, right? And the first portion is a, yes, this is the endosperm. Endosperm, and the innermost, this portion we call it as cotyledon. Cotyledon. What is the other name of cotyledon here? In the seed, this is a cotyledon. Cotyledon, in some cotyledons is otherwise known as the seed leaves, right? In some plants, for example, if you take a groundnut, you can see 2 cotyledons, right? For example, if you take a wheat or a maize, it consists of only 1 cotyledon, so they are said to be monocot. So the first important part is a cotyledon, and the shoot that arises above the cotyledon, we say it as a plumule. We say it as plumule, and below we say it as radicle. Radicle, and in the structure of the seed, which one is a plumule, children? This one is a plumule and this one is a radicle, right? And the region above the cotyledon, the place, this portion of the seed which is above the cotyledon, we say it as epicotyle. Epicotyle. And the region below the cotyledon, that is in the region of the radicle, it is said to be hypocotyle. Hypocotyle. So, what are the 5 regions, children? 5 regions are cotyledons, plumule, radicle, epicotyle and the hypocotyle. Now, let us write one more time what are the parts of the embryo, children. The embryo consists of 5 parts. The first one is cotyledon. So, important question, cotyledon. Next one is a plumule. Plumule is a part from which the shoot arises. Next one is a radicle. Radicle, from the plumule only what arises, children? Shoot. Shoot arises. This is the plumule from which the shoot arises. Later leaves, everything starts to germinate. And this is a radicle from which the roots develop. Roots develop, and one more part is it is a hypocotyle region. That is a region above the cotyledon. Cotyle means seed, epi means above. This region of the seed which is above the cotyledon, we say it as epicotyle, and the region below the seed, we say below the cotyledon, we say it as hypocotyle. Hypocotyle. So this is a embryo. They may ask what is the embryo and what are the 5 main parts of the embryo. And next we shall see about the food storage in the seeds, right? For example, the plant has to germinate, right, and it needs some nutrition, right? Yes, from where do we get? When you are a kid, we get nutrition from a mother, right, through the mother's milk. Likewise, the seed needs nutrition for its growth. So, how do the seeds get their nutrition? From the endosperm. From the endosperm. Endosperm stores the food. But in some seeds, for example, if you take a bean seed or if you take a chana dal, that is a sizer, and some other dicot plants, sunflower seeds, right, you can see there is no endosperm. Only cotyledon is present. No endosperm, only cotyledon functions to store the food, right. So, no endosperm is seen in the dicotyledons, and cotyledon does the function of the endosperm, that is the storage of food is done by the cotyledons only. So such type of seeds we can say them as, since they do not possess the endosperm, we can say them as non-endospermous. Non-endospermous, or otherwise we can also call it as X-albuminous seeds. X-albuminous seeds. It's a 2-mark question, children. But in the case of monocot, if you take a wheat, a maize or rice, oats, you can see there is a majority of the portion of the seed is occupied by the endosperm. This is the endosperm where the plenty of food is stored. Plenty of food granules is stored and it is utilized for the complete growth of the plant, right? And the seeds, that is especially the monocots which possesses the endosperm, we say them as endospermous. The seeds which possess the endosperm, we can say them as endospermous or albuminous seeds. Albuminous seeds. Yes, from this they will ask a 2-mark question, children. Differentiate between the endospermous and the non-endospermous seeds with an example, or differentiate between the X-albuminous and the albuminous seeds. So now let us see the structure of the dicot seed, right? So dicot, the scientific name is Dolichos lablab. What is the scientific name of the bean seed? Dolichos lablab. What is the scientific name of a bean seed? Just look into the seed, children. How can you say what is the structure of this bean seed? And one more example for this is Cicer arietinum. We say in Tamil Smookadale, right? That is also the good example of this dicot seed. So just look at this bean seed. What is the shape you guessed, children? Yes, very good. The dicot seed is kidney shaped. It is kidney shaped, right? It is kidney shaped. And what is the color? Is dark brown in color, and you can see why we call them as a dicot. Why we call it as a dicot, children? If you split, right, you can see 2 cotyledons. You can see the 2 cotyledons attached to the embryonic axis. Since it contains of 2 cotyledons, we say them as dicot, right? And now see the structure of a dicot. Same, children. Seed, it has a seed coat. Seed coat, what is the 2 parts? Outermost testa and innermost tegment. Innermost tegment, and here it is fused together. The testa and tegment are fused together in a bean seed. We are not able to differentiate between them. So this is about the seed coat. And when you see a seed, you can see a whitish structure. This we call it as a hilum. What we say, children? Hilum. This region we call it as hilum. And below the hilum there is a small pore called as micropyle. What is the use of this micropyle? Just I will say you one experiment. Just you soak some seeds, chana dal or some other grams in your home. Next day what happens, children? You can see the size of the seed increases. How it is possible? Yes, the seed absorbs the water. And how the water get inside? Through this micropyle. It has a tiny pore called as a micropyle through which water enters into the seed. And this is a very helpful portion, helpful part which is responsible for germination. At the time of germination, only through the micropyle the shoot and the root system develops. And also one more important function of this micropyle is that diffusion of gases. It is respiratory in function. The seeds need to germinate, right? So it needs some gases. So that is also possible only through this. Movement is possible only through this micropyle. And surrounding the hilum and the micropyle, there is a ridge-like structure, or made madri irukkum, right? So that structure we say it as raphe. What we say? raphe. Just underline in your book, children, raphe. And now we are going to see about the embryo. Embryo has 2 cotyledons and 2 cotyledons. When you remove the seed coat, right, just take any seeds, soak it in water. You take a chana dal, soak it in water, just remove the seed coat and you can see the 2 cotyledons and they both are attached to a whitish structure called as funicle, right. And it consists of, the embryo consists of a cotyledon, right, and the cotyledon, it consists of 2 portions. One is the plumule and another one is a radicle. Plumule and the radicle. So from the plumule what arises? Shoot. From the plumule, shoot arises, and from the radicle what arises? The root arises, right. And then the region above the cotyledon we say it as epicotyle and the region below the cotyledon we say it as hypocotyle. So this is about the structure of the dicot seed, children. So it's an important 5-mark question. You have to draw and explain step by step. So first we studied why it is called as dicotyledon, and next what is the shape? It is a kidney shape, and next we studied about the seed coat, testa and tegment. Next we discussed about the hilum, next about the micropyle and about the raphe, and later on the embryo we discussed about the cotyledon. Cotyledon stores the food in the dicot seed. Here there is no endosperm. So hence they are an example for non-endospermous seed. And cotyledons is 2 in number, hence they are called as dicot. And later on it consists of the embryonic axis. Above it is said to be the plumule from which the shoot arises, and below it is a what? Plumule or radicle from which the root arises. The region above the cotyledon epicotyle and the region below the cotyledon hypocotyle. So this is the structure of the dicot seed. Now let us see the structure of the monocot seed. It is another important 5-mark question, children. Describe the structure of monocot seed with an example. Why we say it as a monocot? Mono means what? 1. Cot refers to cotyledon. So they possess only 1 cotyledon. So they are said to be monocotyledons. In short, we call them as monocots. Can you give some examples for monocot? Yes, very good. Wheat, maize, then rice. Yes, so these are all the examples of the monocot plant, right. And here the main difference is that here they will ask you to compare and contrast between the monocot and the dicot. There it is kidney shaped, right, and mostly these seeds are triangular. If you take a maize, if you take a corn, what will be the shape, children? Yes, like this, right. It's almost triangular in shape, that is kidney shape. And here we cannot differentiate the seed coat and the seed. It is fused. If you take a rice, can you separate the seed coat? No, it is not possible. So that only we give in rice mills to remove the seed coat and then polish the rice. So the seed coat remain fused with the seed, right. And one more important thing is that here radicle, what we can say, this testa and tegment are fused to each other, and we cannot differentiate the region as above the axis, below the axis. We cannot differentiate it as a plumule or a radicle. And now we can study the structure of the monocot seed, that is the rice, right. And this is the structure of the rice, children, that is a paddy, Oryza sativa, right. It is almost triangular in shape, and majority of the portion is a endosperm. Hence we call them as endospermous or albuminous seeds. Their main function is the storage of food, right. And the endosperm is covered by a single layer called as aileron layer. What we say? Aileron layer. You can see like this, right. So the endosperm is covered by a layer called aileron layer. The majority of the monocot seed is occupied by the endosperm only. And now where is the embryo? This is a embryo, the shield shaped structure. Have you all seen the shield? Yes, it will be like this, no? Shield, like this. Shield, right? So shield shaped structure, we say it as a endosperm, right? And the endosperm the shield shaped structure, we say it as embryo. And here the embryo is covered by a layer called scutellum. What we say? Scutellum. And this scutellum is capable of absorbing the nutrients from the endosperm. It absorbs the nutrients from the endosperm and provides nutrition to the developing embryo. And inside the scutellum there is a plumule which gives rise to a shoot system. Plumule, and below there is a radicle. Below there is a structure called as radicle. And plumule, on germination, plumule develops into a shoot system, and it is protected by a layer, double membrane layer called as coleoptile. Likewise, the radicle is covered by a structure called as coleorhiza. So they may ask 2 more questions, children. What is coleoptile? What is coleorhiza? So hence it possesses a food is stored in the endosperm. It is an example for albuminous seed. So the shield shaped structure is called as scutellum. Plumule is covered by coleoptile. Radicle is covered by coleorhiza. So let us recap what are all the things, children, we discussed in this session. We discussed about the seed, the 2 main parts of the seed, that is the seed coat, and then we discussed about the embryo and the 5 main parts of the embryo, and based on the storage of food we divided them into endospermous and non-endospermous seed. Next we studied about the structure of dicot seed. Example, we studied the bean. From this I will ask you one question, children. What is the scientific name of bean seed? Dolichos lablab. Yes, very good. Another thing we discussed is a structure of monocot seed. These 2 are the 5 more questions. They may ask us a difference or comparison also. With this session comes to an end, children. This is the attachment given related to this topic assessment. Just go through it, and I will ask you one question from it. The upper part of the embryo axis is, yes, very good, we say it as epicotyle. With this session comes to an end, children. In the description we have attached the study material, assessment and question bank for this lesson. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.